Hi, my name is Makāula. I am an experiencer contactee since 1990, with over 3 decades of experience with ETs and non-human intelligences. I have learned much from them, especially about energetics related to human physiologies and consciousness, their healing capabilities, and metacognitive communications. Their knowledge about Earth humans is beyond imagination. They know everything about human nature, including physiology, energetics, and consciousness structures. Grand phase, changes in recognition and perception. I believe most of you know that I am essentially an ET contactee, but since some readers may not be aware, I'll write about it. Until recent years, I didn't place much importance on being an ET contactee. My contact with ETs has continued in various forms since 1990, so it's beyond mere conviction for me. ETs is the plural form of extraterrestrial. In my experience, contact with ETs is ordinary, and I have contact with a variety of other beings as well. In a sense, you could say I'm a multi-contactee. Therefore, I came up with a new term. I have diverse contact experiences with invisible beings, including ETs. The term invisible means they are usually unseen by the naked eye. Initially, I was surprised, puzzled, or skeptical, but over 26 years, my relationships with these invisible beings have become routine. Regarding grand phase information, it primarily involves the alliances of ETs, so it's related to ET-type information. Those sensitive to ET information tend to categorize it by star origins, like Pleiades, Orion, Andromeda, or more recently, Arcturians. However, my experiences are varied. Current ET activities are much more alliance-oriented than before, emphasizing species diversity. The span of the grand phase is not limited to 1 or 2 years. Currently, it feels like it could easily be over 20 years, and even this span seems capable of drastic changes. At present, global trends suggest some conflicts will continue for a while, but ultimately there will be a unification towards integration. Disclosure plays a significant role in this process. Globally renowned figures, including Dr. Greer, are leading movements to trigger worldwide disclosure. Russian President Putin publicly acknowledges ET involvement on Earth, and Hillary Clinton has stated she would push for ET information disclosure if elected. Clearly, ETs are already landing in various places on Earth. Nordics are already living among humans, and it appears 3 to 4 other species are also living among Earthlings. Many ETs have the ability for bisensory experiences, sharing reality in a bisensory manner. ET contacts and UFO sightings have significantly increased. The groundwork for full-scale disclosure has already begun. Although the number of individual contacts is increasing globally, it has not yet reached a mass conscious level. The majority of people do not yet have a clear awareness of extraterrestrials. The collective consciousness of humanity has not yet reached the stage of recognizing and perceiving extraterrestrials. Various plans are underway to address this, gradually changing the situation. This situation deeply relates to the perception shift I briefly mentioned in the previous article. Let's delve into the content of the perception shift progressing within the grand phase. First, let's explore the mechanism of changes in recognition, understanding, and perception. From a medical and physical standpoint, the reality we experience is a hologram created by our brain. I'll explain this simply. The reality we see and experience can change dramatically depending on the condition of our brain. The most notable example is dementia. When brain function deteriorates from its ideal state, one lives in a completely different reality. The compatibility with the general worldview diminishes. This essentially means that recognition within the brain changes. Hallucinations caused by alcoholism or drug addiction are similar physiological phenomena. If the brain's condition is normal, experiences can be shared within a general worldview. However, when brain function deteriorates, one is drawn into a reality that is partially or completely different, akin to another dimension. The brain creates reality. The precision or functionality of the brain can greatly alter the reality experienced. If brain function is normal, one tunes into the collectively mapped reality. Those with healthy brain functions are tuned into the reality of the Earth world. If this tuning is misaligned for some reason, discrepancies arise in the experienced reality, sometimes leading to drastically different perceptual worlds. Changes in tuning frequency cause discrepancies in the experienced reality. Perception can change significantly due to improvements or deterioration in brain function. In the grand phase, it's not brain function deterioration, but improvement. As brain functions improve, one begins to recognize and perceive reality accordingly and eventually live in that reality. Essentially, the brain processes information and creates reality in multiple ways. Natural actions such as feeling, thinking, and behaving also vary significantly depending on brain function. Everything is governed by the state of the brain, the transmission of neural information, and the ability to process information. Modern medicine, biology, physics, and general science have evolved dramatically compared to 100 years ago. However, not everything is understood. While the physiological structure of the brain and body is roughly known, not everything is clear. The concept of qi and meridians in Chinese medicine has only recently been scientifically acknowledged, but integration with Western medicine is still far off. This field will become clearer as quantum physics enters medical domains, but this is just beginning. Modern Western medicine is based on biochemistry, viewing the body as a giant chemical factory. During the grand phase, the chemical reaction formulation within the body will gradually change. The key understanding here is the chemical reactions occurring within the body. This is related to genetic recombination. In ascension theories, it's said that the current double helix DNA will eventually become a 12 helix DNA. I've read articles about children with triple helix DNA being discovered. Until recently, the prevailing theory was that our double helix DNA contains a lot of junk DNA, but recent discoveries have shown that this is not the case. It's also becoming clear what separates these genetic elements. Research aimed at rearranging all genetic elements has begun. Quantum physics suggests that consciousness holds matter together, so it can be understood that some consciousness is separating the genes. Consciousness is energy, so some form of energy is maintaining the state of separation or non-connection. In terms of genetic recombination, Russia has already discovered that it is possible to recombine genes using the language of light. The critical point here is that the genetic domain that determines the physiological structure can be rearranged using the frequency of light energy. It's also scientifically proven that light can hold information. Light acts as an information disk. Light is essentially energy. Light equals energy is information. It's more accurate to say information code than just information. In other words, light equals language. Light has the property of transmitting information. Thus, it becomes clear that the quality of information light holds can change. Light is fundamentally energy with frequency, has disk-like properties to hold information, and can carry linguistic information. The density relates to this information. Light has density. Since light is energy, energy also has density. Consciousness, being energy, also has density. When the density of light increases, the amount of information within it increases, and its quality as energy becomes higher. When the density of consciousness increases, its energy level similarly becomes higher. Increasing the density of consciousness means the density and energy value of the conscious sphere rise, leading to functional upgrades. To process information, precision in processing ability and the amount of energy used are required. Large-scale information processing needs functions to process it and a corresponding amount of energy. Basically, density is the difference in information quantity and energy amount. As the density promoted within the grand phase increases, the amount of information and energy within our consciousness begins to improve, leading to perception shifts.